3000.
Hey, what's up? All the way from Big Breeze, Vegas, Queensland, Melbourne, born and bred.
Still repping it on the
Bigfoot,
hat.
Melbourne, to the end.
To the end.
Bigfoot, 750 HG.
Man,
What's up? 3,000.
it's good to have you back in Melbourne, man. You're here for an event, I believe, but you've stuck your head in at Union Heights, and it's good to see Frank. And I'm guessing it's like an old family reunion for you.
Yeah, it's fortuitous that it's, everything's happened on the same weekend, so it happens to be Record Store Day. Obviously, Frank, Union Heights, old mate, he's been in the scene a long time, done a lot of positive things for a lot of people, supported a lot of things, and yeah, does his own thing. Word to Frank and the whole staff there, the whole shop. So yeah, we dropped in, came to check it out, check the vibes out. A whole lot of my friends are down here DJing. Some have come down from Brisbane. A lot of my old friends from Melbourne DJing here as well. A lot of new friends, people I've done music with and never met before.
That's cool.
Bumped into here, all types of things. So yeah, it's just good catching the culture and the vibes here. So
does it feel
fantastic.
like home when you come back to Melbourne?
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
I will always be Melburnian. I've been in Brisbane a while. 7 years or something like that. But born and raised in Melbourne. I was here till I was damn near, 28 or something like that, probably. So,
yeah.
It's Melbourne. It's
so when you drive back from Tullamarine, you feel like, this feels.
Well, no, it felt different because the Uber cost $100, and they never used to cost that much. So, and that was 11 o'clock at night. So, things have changed. Obviously, it's not what it used to be. But,
no, everything's more expensive though, man. One thing that hasn't changed: records are still about the same price.
Yeah, look, I was buying wax from all the Dixons and second-hand spots.
They're cheap. Yeah.
In the 90s when no one wanted vinyl. So I'd be picking up all the jazz records for $10 or whatever, That was great. I could make beats. Plus I had other connections and hookups to get records as well. But now they've sort of raised the prices. Even cash converters are trying to sell old Kamal records for $20, stretch wrapping them up like they're something rare, So
what's going on with Kamal and James Last have got a record in every single op shop ever?
Oh, man, look, I actually bought a lot of CDs. I'm a big CD buyer still, even though I've got a car with no CD player, unfortunately. It drives me fucking mad trying to connect the Bluetooth. Like, I damn near crash the car every day when I leave the house and leave the Wi-Fi. It all fucks up and goes to hell. So, it's an endless source of frustration for me, but I still buy CDs a lot. I have thousands and thousands of CDs.
Yeah. CDs are the new records, I feel like, in a way.
But so in the second-hand shops, it's all the Australian Idol fucking winners. You got the Susan Boyle and the Dami Im and the Damien Leith and all the other ones. The
Guy Sebastian.
Although Anthony Kalia, all this shit on CD. So you got to trawl through that stuff, and rarely find anything good.
No, you do sometimes.
Every shop has the same stuff, It looks like, man, that's marketing.
How good is it, though, when you find an actual find in the shop? I almost feel bad for the person that has, that they've just left it at their mum's place and then they've just gone, if you don't pick this shit up, it's going to end up at the op shop.
I got an MOP CD the other day on eBay that I've only ever found it overseas for like $90 or something. It was on eBay for like $25 from Australia or something. So,
but you get
the wins every now and then, But
that dude's probably like, fuck, man, I got $25 for that CD I picked up for $1.
Yeah, he probably just thought it was Tupac or something that was mass-produced and, everyone's got, so.
And the digging for CDs, do you feel that that's something that's going to live on? Or do you think it's because...
Man, cassettes have come back.
Yeah, I know. Well, get cassettes right here, yeah.
Cassettes, they sound terrible. They chew up. You got to rewind them. You got to fast-forward shit songs. With vinyl, you can't put vinyl in the car.
No.
If I put vinyl on at home and try and, I might go to wash the dishes, have shit all on my hands... Got the record finishes that side, 3 songs, click, 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 covered in shit, CD, you can just press play and the whole album plays as it was meant to, start to finish, in perfect sequence, crisp digital sound, all that stuff, So there's advantages to everything.
Totally.
Wax I prefer for if I'm making beats, looking for samples. I can skip the needle back. Oh, hang on, what was that? That's easy. On a CD, it's more of a fuck around. So
Totally. But the CDJ, I've sampled before, not that I'm any kind of producer, but with a CDJ, because then you've got that same vinyl control with the right CDJs.
So, yeah, I got one. It's not. I couldn't be bothered reading the manual, honestly.
There's a button.
I've got time. I'm trying to make a beat. I'm not trying to fucking study.
You just push the vinyl button and it'll change it, man. I don't
know. Well, come up and give me a
I'll give you a tutorial.
Man.
I'll give you a tutorial. Man, I'd love to get you on a proper episode when you're down in Melbourne next. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You're definitely one of the people that others request all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm from Melbourne. Spent a lot of time in Melbourne. Don't live there, but I know Melbourne, and yeah, I am Melbourne. Like, always rep Melbourne. I'm not from Queensland. I live in Queensland.
Okay. So, but when you come back to somewhere like Chapel when it's been a little while, does it feel different?
Not really. Chapel's not my side of town. I'm from the north, like Hursty Line, Epping Line, kind of.
But does Melbourne feel different now?
The city's a bit quieter, honestly. Post-COVID, I think things have sort of, maybe it's a bit of a shell of its former self in some ways.
Yep.
Maybe it was a kind of cold weekend and things weren't going on. There was no international events, no Tay-Tay concerts.
That's a huge factor, man, definitely.
So obviously that brings an influx of people into the city. But it seemed less foot traffic in the city from my vantage point where I was. It seemed quiet, It was like, this seems quiet.
A lot of people have moved out to the burbs, like myself. A lot of people have done that, post-COVID. They've kind of got out of the big smoke a bit.
I mean, yeah, with rising rent prices, I mean, I went from, you renting in Northcote to Thornbury, Preston to Reservoir to Bundoora. It's like,
It's a natural progression.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go to, bloody South Morang, Like, it's like prices are just pushing people out. So it's the way it is.
It.
Gentrification, all that, so yeah.
It is, man, it is. And people that lived in those areas are chasing their cheap rent, which then equates to more interesting people.
They're chasing cheap rent. It's out of necessity. People can't afford it. Like,
for sure, but
prices are insane now.
Where the cheaper rent is where the more interesting people are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, always. That's where, I mean, like somewhere like Fitzroy back in the day, Collingwood back in the day, was sort of a hub of creative people, share houses and all that sort of, all those terrace houses full of artistic people and whatnot. Now it's all designer apartment kind of vibes and, no one can afford it. No. So those people all get pushed out and you have the hubs of creativity are further out than they used to be. It's a growing city, it's expanding. You got new suburbs that never used to exist. There's a train station in South Morang. Come on, man.
Is there a regular meringue? I only know of South Morang.
There's lemon meringue.
There's a lemon meringue. I don't know. I've never heard of North meringue or just regular meringue.
I've only heard of South Morang.
Yeah. We're going to have to...
I think there's a pub there. Maybe, unless you've got a pub, you don't matter.
All right. Speaking of pubs, maybe we should have another beer.
All right.
Biggie, thanks for coming,
3,000, Maloney, all that, Melbourne.
Cheers.
Burn.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Drop the mic.
3,000.
All right. Record Store Day at Union Heights. We're back with Terrace, DJ Effects. How you going, man?
How you going, mate?
All
Good
right.
to see you again.
Yeah, you made the trek down the highway like myself to come to this awesome spot.
Good 41 minutes from Frankston.
That's better than me, man. That's
Not
about
bad.
an hour. Yeah.
You got to take the side streets.
Is this the only one you're stopping at today? You're going to go to a few record stores?
No, I don't have time today to go to too many, but I'll go to Wax Museum and I'll go to Union Heights. They're my favourites.
Yep.
So that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
But you're a digger though, man. You definitely get around to a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, look, I look at the list of what's going on Record Store Day. If there's a couple of things that I never had or I want, like there's a Mike Geronimo double album that's on like a grey vinyl or something, but I kind of stick away from because of the quality of the pressings. It can be a bit touch and go. So
the colourful ones, you think they're
definitely some good ones, but my experience, they're shocking. Some of them sound like ash. They're just like shh, going over the top of the, whatever the track is.
So you think that it's black wax for a reason because that's the best sounding?
Yeah. 180 gram is the standard, but sometimes you get even thinner pressings, and the pressings make the difference on the sound quality that I notice. And a few other people have said the same thing, especially glow in the dark records. Stay the hell away from those. You don't even want to
the light absorbs some of the sound or something.
What sound? It's like you put it on. Oh, check this one out. Shh. Come on, man.
So you're an audiophile, obviously.
No, I'm not.
You're
I'm not, but I
just...
appreciate good sound.
Right.
You know, being the DJ, that when you hear it through the booth, monitor, and you get in the sound system, and the levels are like here on one and down here on another, it's just you can definitely tell that there's some dodgy presses out there. So with the record store day, I reckon they're getting it right pretty much 90% with the stuff that they're presenting, if that makes sense.
So when they're mixing different colours, then that's adding a whole nother level of shitness to it, is it?
Hey, look, it looks great. Sometimes they get it right. Most of the time they do, but every now and again they'll press up a 500 of this glow-in-the-dark record, for example. I've seen a few people do it, and it sounds like an MP3 that's been filtered with a compression sound that is like shh.
Like a low pass filter.
Like I gave one away to a friend. I won't say his name because I don't want to be accused of being a name dropper, like I have been in the past. But he gave it back. he said, "No." He says, "Rubbish, mate. What are you doing? What's this? Give me something better."
But I think that is some of the bigger record labels trying to cash in on Record Store Day, thinking we can release this with a red fucking...
You can't half-ass it on Record Store Day anymore. Like when it first started, they just throw out any kind of coloured vinyl and be saying, this is, get it, and you get it, and you take it home, and you put it on, and it's rubbish. And you wasted $28 on a 12. So I'm pretty much at the point now, if I'm in a record store, I'll want to check it. If they don't have the facilities, I'll research a little bit, see if anyone's saying anything about the press before I go and throw some money on it. Because, these days it's so easy to get music. You could subscribe to Beat Junkies, Record Pool, get all the music you want for like $35 a month.
Yep.
So Record Store Day, you have to be a hardcore collector to even come out anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's so accessible. It was literally wiped out when they said Technics are no longer being made. At that point, records were like dead. You had to get secondhand or you had to travel in town and get the new ones. Now you can, 5 minutes from your home, pick up a repress of some crazy, Law Finesse record or something.
For sure.
And the prices have come down too. They used to be $110. Now they're down to 65, down to what I was paying in the obese days. I walk in and say, oh, I want that, give me this. And they were like, oh, that's $120 for 2 gatefold records. So you think of the money you pump into this stuff.
And if you think about that in comparison to what $120 got you then to what $120 gets you now, that's you're
lucky to get one record for $120 if it's a double gatefold, good quality pressing of anything. And forget about an original pressing. You're only going to get those through your mates that are willing to sell the records, out the back of the trunk, like I do. Like I got a mate down my way. We meet up every second week, and he pulls the crate out, and he's been collecting since 86 or 85 or something. And I was like, here's the first pressing of this, first pressing of that. But I also get other genres as well for friends and for myself. Like he sold me a Beatles White album with the photos of the Beatles in it for like $25. Wow. Same record is like $350, $400. So it's just like, pick them up, because as a collector of anything, you're going to grab some bargains, and you're going to be like, a couple of years later, like 15 years would have passed since I bought a particular record, and that record at the time I paid $35. I could sell it now for $1,200.
To buy more records.
Particular records, and most of it goes into either equipment that sits around getting dusty, and I try my best to do it, but I've been accused of not being the most musical person in the world, which I am. But I tell you, to the people that have dissed me about not doing enough, think about the
people
amount of...
People are dissing you to not do enough?
Yeah, I had a bit of a problem with someone paying out of me on the last interview I did with anyone. Didn't say who they were, but they hit the core. They made me want to quit. And
really?
I'm over 30 years in this, and just the words that were said, it was lucky I had someone to say, hey man, that's just complete bullshit.
But when they're hiding behind no...
Trolls.
Yeah, and that's fucked.
Yeah. I just look, I'm like, you serious? So I kind of think about what I'm going to say before I say it anymore, because people don't want to hear honest opinion like they used to. They want to be... And when I say something that they don't agree with, or they don't like the look of where I'm coming from, I just I don't even care.
You got to be true to yourself, man.
Yeah, no, I am 100%. You know, and it's good to be around people like myself that come out for the records and just to be around. The hip hop, you know, in Melbourne has always been a strong scene, but there's always been elements of it where there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome going on. And anyone that's sort of, you know, seems to be doing all right or living a certain way, they want to diss. So
Yeah.
sorry to bring the conversation
No,
down, but
no. I had no idea, and you never know because a lot of that stuff that is put online, not everyone's reading all the comments. You know what I mean? So people that could go. No one.
It was up for a moment, and then the guy goes, "Do you want me to take it down?" I said, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind because it's not relevant to anything, and I don't deserve that, and neither does Melbourne in general or Australian hip hop."
Yeah.
Just don't bring down the people that have been pushing this thing since day dot.
For sure, and I think that a lot of times people forget what the idea of hip hop is, and that's to do something positive.
Yeah,
it's not to do something negative.
I'm a happy guy, and I like positive things, and I want to hear positive comments. But every now and again, someone comes from the left field with something, and I'm just like, really? Wow, where's the support? Where's the love? Where's your positivity? And then I realise they're coming from a situation that's something I don't understand because I've never been there. So I'll be like, I don't get that, but it feels like you're dissing the hell out of me.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends have had similar things, and they've just given up. They've moved away. They're like, oh, I put a record out, that's it, I'm done. And these are people that I used to work with, you know, and I'm just like, they're like, why are you still there? You're nearly 50. I said, why do you put an age on it? Why does it need to be
it's
an
a
age?
state of mind more than
Yeah, records are always going to be there. Record store day, records have come back. But for me, they've never gone. But for a lot of people, they're like, oh, they stopped making the turntables. They stopped with the records, so why are you still here? And I'm like, well, I'm here because I deep down, I love music, but hip-hop and turntable, DJing, multimedia, being amongst creative people has always resonated with me, and I always find time to spend quality time with people that want to make music, who want to build with you and have that similar passion that would want to get them on a plane to go overseas to meet the people that created it. To me, if you're not thinking like worldwide whenever you do anything, honestly, you should be around people that are on that level to bring you up. So I always thought if anything I do, I want it to be seen globally. So when I go over there, I saw that, you know, and it's on that scale. But that's hard to do these days because there's people that are not supportive like they used to be because they're trolls, you know. And
the internet's changed a lot of things, but it's done that in a negative way for sure.
I loved before the internet, but there's certain parts of it that I don't mind as well. Like the internet is, you know, it's a tool. It's great for social things, but you got to get out and amongst the people like today, like being at the record store, actually speaking to the artists and getting given things like here's a CD, here's a record that you didn't even know about, that they wouldn't even mention online. Like, you know, you don't have those conversations. I don't know about you, but I'm not really talking to half the people that I'm a friend with online. I may be about 10, 12 people.
Yep.
And we don't talk about records. We're like, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. But when you get amongst this, then you have those conversations. Oh, what have you picked up recently? What have you been listening to? I mean, honestly, I don't listen to just hip-hop all the time. I've been stuck on this Supertramp, listening to the Logical song.
Supertramp makes some good songs, man.
Beautiful songs.
Yeah.
Like I'm really hearing the music, and certain genres are really capturing me, and mostly it's when I'm in the car, away from a record player. So yeah, but every now and again I'll sit there and I'll just throw on a record that I haven't heard, or it's something that I have heard but I want to hear it again. And it's without music, as they say in Japan. There's a shop called Tower Records, one of the last ones left. I went to the one in the States. Big sign that says "No music, no life." And so if you don't have music in your life, I feel sorry for you, but you got to keep listening. Put your headphones on, put your record player on, play those records, and really get into your music and love it, because it does something to you, the way you feel. Like, you ever you got to clean up a space in your home, and you have no motivation. And as you get older, the motivation for everything goes away. Like I'm noticing as I'm closing in on 50 that my motivation for everything is starting to dwindle a bit, and I'm having to find a way. And the only way I really can get past that, put the headphones on, pump the music in the car, crank it up, get on my records.
Life.
It does. It makes you see past that wall that says, "Oh, you can't do it. Just relax. Put the TV on. Put your feet up. Eat some food. Whatever." But don't do everything but what you want to do with your day. And the only thing that gets me over that is music, and that's why I love it, and that's why I'm here and still supporting, my passion, which is music and DJing and all that. So, if anyone gets anything from that, know that every day I wake up, I feel like, why do I still do what I do? And then I listen to music and it reminds me. So.
Man, we've been doing some quick little 10-minute chats, but that one was deep and I fucking love it.
That's what I'm about.
Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, no worries, mate.
Let's go back in next door and get some records.
All right.
Thank you. Cheers. Right.
I think so, bro.
We're good? Oh, here we go. Oh, look out.
Team G&H. Woo.
All right, we're here with
Yes.
G&H. You guys, I know
good.
one of you lives here now. Rubis, you live here now? No. Who lives here now?
H,
you
lives
live here now.
Yeah.
But you guys are all originally from Perth, but you're now doing your thing.
Yeah.
Interstate sort of.
Intertwined. I guess we, all funnily enough, have, old histories with each other, and then it all just sort of linked in together.
And how did you get to Record Store Day at Union Heights on Chapel Street?
It's a good fucking question, actually, to be fair. We're still kind of pinching ourselves a little bit, being like, how did this actually happen? But, look,
Very grateful.
I think, to be fair, Frank's sort of supported us shitloads from the get-go. It's H being on the ground, here, being able to push the product over here, and people are a lot more receptive than maybe back home. That's no disrespect to our home city, but it's just a bit different. Everybody's just got so much.
Poppy syndrome? What? Explain
I think so. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. It's just
I don't know. We don't know. Big fish in a small pond type thing. It's not that people are dicks or anything like that. It's just very insulated over there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas I think over here it's you got dudes up in Brisbane or Sydney or whatever, and people are coming and going and shit. So it's just a bit I don't know. I put out I just kind of come out to shows and I'll just speak to people, and they're very open and keen to hear stuff, and I'll just go to a show with records that we haven't sold and just be I'll just give them out to people that we like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then people actually go back and listen to them, and then just make friendships or make connections that way, Yeah. But
for sure. I think they actually, just to be fair as well,
Sorry, my phone's ringing now.
All good, bro. Don't worry
This
about
has
it.
been the most interrupted interview. We're definitely
police.
doing it on the
fine. This is how we operate.
It is.
Police.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, so I'll edit that little bit out. Do you think in Melbourne, because it's a big city, or even just the east vibe is different because there's more people, so it's not so insular, so
I've always said that's probably what it is. It's just pure density of people, and more people here are...
More creative?
Yeah, more accepting of that shit as well. I don't know, man, Perth's, they call it the nanny state, and I think, or WA, nanny state, right? But I think that is kind of fucking gospel when it comes to, the creative side. Yeah. People are... man, there's dudes in here today who I've never met, but just chat them on the gram, and they're just oh, bro, fucking what's going on? How are you, man? Nice to meet you. And it's
you don't feel like that happens in Perth?
Nah.
And we kind of reach out to other people.
Yeah.
We're always that's why,
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
We've only got one mic.
I forget.
No, we've got a couple of homies and stuff that one of the boys was here. He did a set as well.
Yep. Oh, I'll try and get him in here if he wants to have a chat.
for sure, man. And we've known him for fucking shitloads of years. Since I was probably 14, 15. I'm 32 now, and not to give too much away, but old bastard, fucking weak ankles. And they're on a very similar, his crew, they're on a similar plane. They're just unapologetically themselves and just do their own thing, and fucking whatever, man. If people like it or not, it is what it is,
Do the other two non-Melbourne members have plans of maybe coming over here when you see it's where something's happening?
Yeah, we get the tickle,
Yeah,
we definitely do. Yeah. I love coming here for a holiday. It's great to just escape, with the boys.
Yeah.
Good
What
to see
about
H.
from a DJ perspective? Is record digging's obviously a lot more of a thing here. Is record store day in Perth like? Is there events like this happening there?
Not events.
not events.
But they still make, because I used to work at a record store once upon a time, and they were kind of advocate for that, like record store day, getting the records out on the shelves and doing all that. But that's more about actually selling the records than bringing people
Community together.
Yeah, they don't have a community over there. Nothing's very community based.
I think it's just got people who are almost too scared to give people props, you know. Like,
Sorry,
I think
brother.
people are too scared to give anybody any props there. It's just but you know, let's not just like shit on Perth because it is fresh. It is fresh, and I love my people. But yeah, it's just you feel so much more like welcome here. Like, we don't know anybody, me and him, really, and it's just like fuck. Jesus, like, got more respect in like one day than I've had in fucking 10 years trying to do my thing back at home. And to answer your question, like the Melbourne thing and like to live, honestly, bro, if I didn't start my own business and have a child, me and my missus considered it for a long time. Like she works in like public health sector and stuff, so it would have been a pretty easy transition for her, and I would have just figured something out. But you know, life happens, and you do what you got to do. It's only a 3.5 hour flight over, I guess.
Sore ass.
Sore ass, yeah.
So when are you guys heading back?
Monday. Yeah, Monday we go back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like a whirlwind sort of thing. Like whether it's like I'm going like all the stuff we do apart from the Borderlines EP, I go over and record it at Rubik's studio because it's just like if you're like a producer or like a hardware nerd, it's a fucking wet dream. You know what I mean? Like it's just the best. So I always go over, we'll record a project, and then they'll come over and we'll just like link up or do stuff or sort of like set up for a project or whatever. And it's always a whirlwind. Like we're always just so tired and burnt out. We're like, fuck, we're not like 18, 19, 20 anymore. Like, like first night in, he's snapping ankles. Like people are missing sleep. And then next day we're just like, almost like, fuck, are we even going to make the show? You know what I mean? Like, but we made it. Yeah. We've got through now. So now we can celebrate. So it's all good.
Sure. So Rubik's, are you recording other people over there, other artists, or what are you doing with the
It's
studio?
just more like our crew, really. Like we've got a group of people. Like I've got an EP with my old housemate that we all like. We actually all know each other really well. Silas, baby. And we've got like a little EP coming out. I think it's called Accident Prone or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Hell chill beats. Accident prone. Everyone's accident prone, so everyone can connect. But also got another guy in our crew, which is Ethan Split. We're doing an album together at the moment, off menu. Yeah, he's just jumped up on, and we've done a tune from from the album that we're doing. But yeah, not really. Like I reach out to other beat makers more so for some reason. I don't know why. I just gravitate to that. I'm trying to slowly come from the outside and the backside of trying to get people to come together as beat makers, come to the studio, hang out, make a beat together.
So are you putting your beats out there online that people can find and hit you up?
Nah.
Well, so that's hard for them to find you then, man.
It's for literally. I make a beat, put it in the group chat, and they're like, "Oh, it's ours." Or like Ethan would be like, "It's mine," or Silas will be there and he's like, "No, that one's mine. Sorry." And then I'm like, "Ah, damn, I can't make any money off these beats." But that's all right. Like it's totally fine. I love these guys like family. So.
What's on for the rest of the weekend? Are you going to hang around here at Record Store Day? What else are you guys going to do?
I think like we'll kick it until everyone's kicking it, like until they're done. I know Frank said he's got other business after, but we were sort of like in a quarter of a bit of an off timing thing because these guys were at an Airbnb in Brunswick, which is like right near me, and then like the checkout in the morning and like the check in at the new place was on our set time, so we're trying to work out how we get all that shit there. That's obviously made harder when one person's in a wheelchair or a Zimmer frame or whatever, you know, but we'll just go back to the Airbnb after everyone's done and dusted, and I think we'll just probably be sore tomorrow.
Yeah, celebrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Celebrate a small victory for us boys, really, to be fair. Yeah, it's
big day now.
pretty sick, yeah.
Now it's time to get some piss into these too. You know,
Yeah, we've been good boys.
you've been very good.
Yeah.
They're
So
usually
you broke
drunk by
your
this
ankle
time.
without being pissed?
No, very pissed.
No, I was pissed.
Very pissed.
Yeah, I was.
How do you rate the Melbourne hospital system? The Alfred is it good?
Do you know what? It was actually fucking quick, man. Like to Royal Melbourne.
Royal
yeah,
Melbourne,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Fracture unit. I've been there.
Oh man, I thought I was sitting in there, and this fucking absolute G. I was like, you don't have to come with me, bro. This is so dumb. Like, he booked the day off work as well to fucking hang out and practice, and he's like, "No, I'm coming, bro. Don't be stupid." And sat there. It was pretty morbid, but it's like 2 and a bit hours. No, we fucking waited longer to get the crutches and the whole ordeal. And like, lady's like, have you got your crutches yet? I'm like, nope. Really would like to go home, but yeah, it was good. No complaints, bro. I'm here. I'm out.
Better than an hour waiting, you know.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, G&H, let's get back in next door, talk some people, buy
Let's
some
do it,
records,
man.
drink some more beers.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having us on, bro. We
Thanks, bro.
appreciate it, man. Big ups. Bless.
Cheers. Thanks. All right, Record Store Day here at Union Heights on Chapel Street. We've got Dialectrix. Thanks for coming here, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming all the way from 50 metres from next door.
Oh, man. It's a long travel.
It was a long distance. Have you got to catch up with a few old friends and stuff? Has that been good?
Yep, absolutely. So there were key people involved with the record I put out last year who were here today. I got to see Len One. Len One came down and did a Miles Ago showcase. Unfortunately, I missed the start of it, but got to catch up with Len, which was
You missed him altogether?
I think I came in right at the tail end of his set. So it's the downfalls of rocking up to Record Store Day with 4 kids and one trying to run out onto Chap.
I know, man. I almost stopped her when I saw her run.
Thank you for saving my daughter's life.
But I'm like, we're Chapel Street. Do I just jump in front of a random kid? I'm like, yeah.
Not all heroes wear capes. They do podcasts. Thank you.
But yeah, no, it's hard. There's a lot going on.
I appreciate that. My daughter's life is here because of
paramount.
this podcast.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
3,000 saving the kids. 3,000 is for the kids,
That's
literally.
It, man. But it must be a bit like a fucking... what's the word? Like reunion every time this happens. You get to catch up with people you probably don't have time to catch up with.
Yeah, man.
Because of family and the likes.
Hugely like that. Not as frequent as I want it to be. I got to see Dill, who I haven't caught up with to give him a physical copy of the record. So awesome. Checkmate hadn't given him his own record, but he's such a legend. He already had bought it.
Which is awesome. And that's great with this community that people do, you know, they'll get it for free, but they'll purchase as well.
He's such a huge supporter of the scene and still, pervasively being involved with it. From recording to mixing to his features to re-releasing older BTE stuff. Checkers is Don.
Such a humble guy too, man.
Hadn't seen him in a hot minute, so chill with Checkers. Saw Heater. Missed his 50th due to sickness, health, family stuff, so had to be mad apologetic to Heater, but got to see Heath.
You can hear him from here as well.
He's still getting interviewed on this
he's
mic.
Just out there. He set up the lighting here as well, which is cool. So he did. Yeah.
He should do that for a job, man.
Yeah, he should. He's almost. I reckon I could get him onto Neighbours or something. But yeah.
But no, man, it's been good. It's been a cool vibe. I don't get out as much as we're sort of talking to these types of events. So I'm relishing. Yeah,
that's
chat,
the
beauty
banter. Of daytime events when you've got a family.
The matinee, man.
The matinee.
You got to bring in the matinee.
Yeah.
You got to bring in the 3 p.m. hip hop show. Because I think I went to Struts, not his last gig, but one of Struts' first sort of forays back into live shows, and I went, fuck this, I'm going. So I got on a train, started drinking. It's a 40-degree day, and then I think they had blowers with weed in them. And it's like, and like instead of having like the dry ice, they just literally had a cone piece like the size of your head, just blowing weed onto the crowd. And like at about 9 o'clock, I'm like, I'm not gonna last at all at this show. And then like the first act came on, and then there was like 20 other support acts, which God bless them, they were awesome. But I think Strut went on at 1 or 12.
Which is late.
And at that very instant,
people.
For people of my vintage, I was sitting there just going, I'm pretty sure I saw Dill there that night. I was just like, it came to me, the matinee. We need to bring in the hip-hop matinee. I'm telling you, just in an oval somewhere, at 2 or 3 p.m., nice penned-off area for the kids, cheap drinks and food. Someone come up with it.
There you go.
You can take it. You can run with it.
The hip-hop day on the green type scenario.
I just realised that I can't do that shit anymore. I personally would struggle so fucking hard to pay attention to you if you're going on at 12. You're welcome to go on at 12. I'm going to struggle to get there.
Yes.
So
you heard it first. If you want Dialectrix at your show, 3 p.m. Sunday. Saturday or Sunday?
Record Store Day, like bombs dropped. matinee, promoters, do it.
There you go. So you had your album come out late last year, man. Are you happy
Yep.
with everything there? Obviously, you're happy with the album, but
Yeah.
when we last spoke, it was just about to drop.
Yep.
And how does it feel now that it has?
It's good, man. It's been a liberating experience taking care of things like marketing and pushing independently, but on the flip side of that, it's just more energy that I never knew I would need to put into it. So unfortunately, there's been things like organising tours and whatnot, which haven't happened as quickly, close to the close to the date as I would like.
Yep.
But they're still in the pipeline. We just have things like, whether it's a band or a DJ and finding older instrumentals that when multiple computers have crashed. So this is my excuse for not touring. But aside from that, the feedback has been really great. People have enjoyed it. People have been surprised or bugged out that a new Dialectrix release is out there. So it's the main goal prior to releasing it was the hope that it would bring on more releases, which is, for me, the main thing it's done. So I'm still working on new tunes, which I hope to release this year as well.
So, and I know that the album was pretty personal to you, and the feeling after putting it out from prior to putting out, has it been cathartic? You feel like it's been
100%.
to let it go into the universe?
100%. Like it was the most cathartic album, and previously when I've done that, I haven't really enjoyed songs that are too personal. Maybe they've highlighted emotions that are fleeting, or I might feel that particular way when I'm 20, but in 25 or 30, I don't resonate with it. So I feel like whatever was expressed in that experience will stay and won't change. We're fast forwarded about a year after writing it, and I feel exactly the same as when I did write it. It was a good thing to get out of me, and it was a different style that I probably won't touch on that hard again.
It's a bookmark
I'm known more for live sort of stuff and fast sort of deliveries and whatnot, and it being generally more energetic. So when it came to a project that was a little bit like stretched out and slower, BPM wise, introspective for a longer period of an album, I don't think I would do another album like that again. But it doesn't mean that I'm still extremely proud of what it was. So it's sort of, now that it has been that catharsis and got it out of me, I think I'm due for something that's a bit more up tempo and bangers.
Bangers, there you go.
Bangers.
So who's going to produce these bangers for you, man?
Oh, look, I've hit up the same culprits of the last one. I haven't hit up Dill yet. Hey, Dill, come over here, man.
Go on,
come
jump in there. We've only got one mic. You can tag team in, though. I'll get in. Yeah, there, Dill's in here.
Hey, what's happening, Dill?
What's going on?
How are you, man? You enjoying Record Store Day?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to one store. I've literally
You kind
been...
of get stuck at that store, though.
Yeah, usually I start in the city and I sort of go... I'm from South Side. Usually I start North Side and I work my way back and I end up back here.
Yeah.
But because my missus was away today and I had the kids, I was like, I'll just stick South Side. So yeah, I've just only been to Union Heights, man.
Yeah. So who's got the kids now?
Oh, my missus came and got them at lunch.
Okay. You're off the hook.
They might pop their heads in here though. I reckon they're going to come back soon. They took them. Lizzie took them down to Greville Records, one of my other favourite spots, to get a Taylor Swift record for Record Store Day.
At least if you're going to buy the commercial artist, at least buy it from an independent store.
That's my thing.
So if you were going to go Northside, where would you go? Northside Records?
Yeah, go Northside. Yeah, basically, if I go Northside, I only get about that far, and then I go to see Chris and get some shit there, and then kind of twiddle back through the city. Go to Wax, Big Ups Wax Museum. Yeah. I wouldn't call that Northside, but yeah.
It's on the north side of the river, technically.
It technically is, actually.
It's sort of under the river almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not far off.
For real. No, it's always a good vibe, man. Like coming into Frank's on Record Store Day, it's always getting a little bit more hype, a little bit bigger. It's great to see
Community
faces.
vibes.
Huge community vibes, man.
Are you buying some records yourself?
I didn't get any like the Record Store Day releases, but I copped a Miles Ago 7-inch, and I copped Shook Ones 2 on 7 as well, which I think came out like on Record Store Day last year maybe, or the year before. It was just a bit of a fleeting moment that I saw it there, and I was like, I'm going to cop that. Got to buy something.
You do. I haven't bought anything yet. People have gifted me stuff, but I've got to go.
You're too busy doing the potty, mate.
I know. Well, I can't even catch any live acts. Have you seen any live stuff happening next door so far today?
Yeah, so I saw. I was there when Lenny was spinning. I wanted to go up and say g'day, but he was playing 7 inches, and I thought like each song's like a minute to 2.5 minutes.
You don't have a lot of leeway.
He hasn't got long to say g'day, so I kind of left it and said g'day to him afterwards. Who else did I see?
G&H just came in. Did you catch them?
Sorry, I just saw G&H, and I actually met those dudes at, I met H. Who's the one from Melbourne?
Don't put me on the spot. Not the DJ, because he's from Perth.
If they're watching this, I'm super sorry, but their shit is fresh, because, I met them at the 1/6 launch.
Yes.
So, the one that's from Melbourne was at the 1/6 launch.
He was sitting right where you are.
Oh, was he?
I think he is G.
He's G, yep.
Think.
Okay. So, my apologies there, but yeah, I met him at the 1/6 and Discourse launch, and he just came up to me and was like, dude, have my wax, like, I want you to check it out, like, love your shit. And I was like, sweet, took it home, listened to it, and I was like, this shit is fucking cool, man.
That's
I
cool.
was really into it. And then I just met Rubik's, the dude who does the beats.
Yep.
Just really briefly, and yeah, really liked their shit. And yeah, I caught their set, but I was up the back.
Yeah. It's interesting, because those guys were just saying that stuff like this in Perth doesn't really happen much. Not that they were hating on Perth, but they're like, this is next level, like, community record store shit. He said in Perth, people just come into record store day, buy some fucking records. It's cool that we've got this sort of stuff.
Yeah, man, and like it's always been a thing in my diary, on my list every year, to just, even if I just pop in here. I used to take it real serious. I used to go real hard. Like, I used to pop around everywhere, like, before I had kids and stuff. Now I've got the kids in that. It's a little bit harder. But I still want to show them the community and the vibe. So I drag them along as well, even if it's only 1 or 2 spots. But yeah.
For sure. And what else is happening for Dill Thomas for the rest of the year, man? What else you got coming up?
Oh, there's a bit in the works, mate.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, always lots of beats, always making beats. I mean, recently for me on the music tip, I haven't been making lots of music. A lot of the stuff that I've got coming has just been locked, like kind of sitting there, ready to go. Just because I've just work situations. I've like started working for myself and stuff, so I'm on the hustle doing that stuff most of my time. So the time that I used to have for music has kind of got a little bit slimmer.
Mm-hmm. But life gets in the way.
Yeah, a little bit. So that's just kind of something that's happened like just recently. But yeah, I got some collab. Most of the shit I've got's collab stuff. I don't know. I've got a solo album I've been sitting on for like 5 or 6 years. And I'm always like, oh, I'll do that next. After I do this St. Surly shit, I'm going to do that album. And then I start working on it again, and then someone sends me some shit or wants to collab, and I end up doing that. And then sometimes that turns into a record, like the Gecko one that I did recently.
Popular, man, of being in demand, you know?
I think it's partly me in the sense of there's a lot of responsibility doing a solo record, and I want to produce the whole thing myself as well. So I think when I do get distractions from someone coming in the left or the right hand side going, hey, want to collab on some shit? It's almost like too easy for me to just drop that and go, oh yeah, actually I'll focus on this, because it's kind of like I'm only have to do like 50% of this. So it's easier for me in my head. I go,
it's an easy procrastination sort of
kind
thing.
of, yeah. Like that's kind of what I fall into a little bit. But I really want to do the solo record. But I've got a few collabos ready to go in
something with Dialectrix potentially.
Well, if you want some beats.
The whole time he's sitting there going, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've got beats stacked, so lots of stuff. My problem is organising all my shit, because I just make stuff and then just like fucking...
You don't categorize it properly or catalog it properly?
No, I'm on the Mad Lib tip. I just make shit and just fucking bounce out a WAV straight out of the MP or whatever, into Logic, save it off, name it, like call it whatever it was saved as on the disc, and then don't go back to it until someone hears it, and then I have to go dig it back out.
But how do they hear it if you don't fucking...
A lot of my shit comes from just beats I put on Instagram, or people just DM me and say, can I see some shit? And then I just go through my folders in Logic of shit that I've stemmed out and just send loops. I usually just send loops until And if someone wants me to really work on a song, like produce a song, I love doing that shit. I'll do it. But a lot of people just, like the Strut stuff, for example, that I did recently. He wanted some beats. I sent him a pack, and he just sent me back demos over the top of like the MP3s I sent him. And he was like, "This is how I want to go. This is how I want to roll." I'm like, "Sweet."
There you go. The beauties of the internet, man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
yeah.
it.
But yeah, lots of things in the pipeline, man. This year is going to have a few, I think.
For
a couple.
sure.
Yeah.
Should we go back next door, go through some records, say hello to people, have a drink?
Do it.
Yes.
Dialectrix and Dill, thanks for coming. The double act.
brother.
I didn't know I was going to get the double
Got
act.
the double.
Meeting a whole bunch of new people today, and we've got Callum here. Callum, tell us where you're from and what you do, man.
So I'm from Seymour, Victoria. It's like an hour and a half north of the CBD. And I do a hip-hop show. I've been doing it for like 10 years now, 11 years, dedicated to Australian hip-hop, titled One Stop Hip-Hop. And it's literally just to be the one-stop destination for all things Australian hip-hop and rap.
Yep.
Trying to cover all corners of the map, trying to create a platform that anyone can share their voice on.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
And how do people find this and to consume it, to get a little bit more?
So right now we've only got sort of your free community radio stream. So there's like the TuneIn radio app and your community broadcasting app. They're all like free downloads. And in the next sort of 6 to 12 months, we're looking at digital streaming, YouTube, SoundCloud, the whole works, Patreon, just trying to create as much avenues to get onto this music for people to have a voice.
For sure, man. And you were saying to me before, next door at Union Heights, you've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10 years. Like I've been making the trek down on Record Store Day since Obese Records was on Izzet Street.
There you go. Before it was on Commercial Road, and then
Yeah. So I was probably in the last couple of years before it made the move, and before we started seeing some real big changes in the scene, I was kind of fortunate to sort of see some rises and some falls and what we have now.
It must be cool for you to come into a place like Union Heights today, see a whole bunch of new talent, but also, you know, there's some Bigfoot just came in to have a chat.
Yeah.
Dialectrix is coming through. There's a lot of big names that just come down and just, it's a fucking good vibe, hey?
Melbourne has always had such an incredible energy to be able to bring people together, but there's something special at places like Union Heights.
Yep.
I don't know, there's something about, obviously, the curator, Slap 618, like Uncle Frank is one of the G's of Melbourne, well and truly. Put him up there with the MCG type situation. He has held down everyone, including myself, from day dot.
Yep.
And I think that energy has just manifested into what we see next door.
Awesome.
Truly, there's so many people of all age groups, all demographics, all races coming together for the celebration of records, hip-hop, and, well, I think Union Heights, ultimately.
Awesome, man.
Definitely.
And so you started this journey. It's been going for over 10 years now. When you're a teenager,
Yeah.
and your focus. This is where you're going, and this is what you're doing. You've known that from a young age, and you stayed on track.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I've just always had a calling to it, well and truly. Like the hoods, I suppose, in a sense, you know. I have always had a sense of relatability to artists, and I think I've been coming to these events since I was about 12, 13, as young as I sort of can, and just moving my way through. I've been shown nothing but respect.
Mm-hmm.
Probably didn't deserve it. I wasn't owed it, but I think there was just that level of, you're no different to me or not to me or the next person, you know what I mean? There was that level of familiarity, and I think it's just grown and it's just bubbled ever since, and I've sort of become a part of it, you know. It's wonderful walking into those sort of places like Union Heights, like Wax Museum, Northside, and they know you, and it's because they want to know you. There's that relatability, there's that there's a different level of customer experience, definitely, because it's not just customer, it's more like a family affair.
For sure. But you are a customer sometimes. You do purchase records. Are you collecting?
Of course. I've got a ridiculous stash, admittedly.
Yeah.
I reckon 3/4 of it had to come from Frank and all the other stores around Melbourne, plus a lot of the local heads as well.
Yep.
Like big ups to like the Master, Daniel Son, a couple other cats I've been blessed to buy a couple of their records and just get an insight to the crates before me.
Well, there you go, man. For someone who's only in their mid-20s, it's really cool to see that you are so cool and understand the culture and really want to find out what happened before you. Because a lot of younger people now, don't really care. They're looking to the future. They don't look to the past.
That's right. And then what they are seeing, and it's no offense to them, but they're generally seeing a narrow view. They're seeing what's popular at the time, whether it be your Hilltop Hoods and your Bliss and Essos and your Drafts, whether it be your Nerves, your Wombats, your Chillinits, whether it be your DJs like your Woolsies, your Mishaps, and all those cats that are coming through. They're only seeing a particular demographic of this. They're not going back the years, and they're not checking out the AKA Brothers. They're not checking out PMP. They're not checking out Rise and Tarky. They're not checking out even later generations like your Coolisms, your After Hours, your Downsides. A lot of these fundamental groups from across the country that without them, we wouldn't be where we're at now. That is a full stop. You know, that's a strong exclamation that I'm willing to stand on. Without those groups, we would be however many years behind. So I think there's a level of recognition that I think we forget to do, and we forget to pass that down. So I think that's where I try to bridge in with my radio show. I try to give a unique perspective of someone who wasn't necessarily there, but someone who's trying to read that energy from back then. Someone who's actually still trying to pay attention to that music.
Man, it's awesome, and it's refreshing to speak to someone who's 15 years or so younger than me, but has such passion and enthusiasm for something, whether it be hip-hop or anything. It's really cool, and you know what you like.
Dude, I got to say thank you for you, at least for giving so many people, like myself even, a chance to be able to share this one way or another, and being able to give artists a chance to reflect on their histories. And yeah, I've been seeing some of those sort of left field questions you've been throwing out, and I'm like, this is the type of interviewing sort of that I like, that really throws them off guard and leaves that interviewee thinking, yeah, cool, that was something different. You know, that was a different experience to the same old. What were your inspirations behind this? What's
your favourite track on this thing? I try not to do that shit, man, because you don't want to do that.
It gets boring, it gets played out, and we've probably, unfortunately, to a degree, heard it before.
For sure.
So let's try something a bit original. That's what I love about 3,000 podcasts.
Thanks, man. All right, well, hit you with something different. When you're not listening to hip-hop, what are you listening to?
Oh, that's a tricky one. So at the moment, I'm getting really big on a lot of that psychedelic-y sort of kraut rock sort of energy, that fusion. So I'm a big fan of Mild Life and another band called Glass Beams. Mm-hmm. They are holding down Melbourne like no tomorrow. If you haven't got on them, check them out. What was I listening to on the way down? Oh, there's a new band straight out of Melbourne. They're called Lord Knows. They're out now on Mandarin Dreams. I'm really keen to check out some of their music. I've had a bit of a deep dive on their stuff. A lot of the Mandarin Dream stuff. So a lot of sort of that jazzy, that sort of soulful R&B sort of house sort of music. I really get down with anything.
I could imagine. Yeah.
Really, from rock to metal to soul and jazz and funk to Japanese city pop. Like, honestly, we get down with the sound.
Man, you've got an infectious positive vibe, and it's awesome.
Thank you, my dude. I appreciate that.
You strike me as the kind of dude that'd be fun to have at a party, that doesn't need a drink, that just has fun and is a good vibe to be around.
I try. I'm nature's, MD or whatever you want to do.
Nature's MD, that's good. Do you want to shout out where people can find more of your stuff, what your Instagram is and all that sort of shit?
So right now I'm pretty lazy. You can just follow me under the personal right now. It's just Watto Watson _ on Instagram or Callum Watto Watson on Facebook. I do have some Facebook and Instagram pages for just One Stop Hip Hop, so you can check them out. It's just One Stop Hip Hop as it sounds. Just watch this space. Watch this space for 3,000 podcasts, because they're going to blow. Definitely.
Thanks, Watto, man. I appreciate it, dude. Let's go back next door and let's see who we can find.
Well and truly, I'm down.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers.
3,000.
All right, so the last chat of the day, we've got No here from WA or Perth.
Yeah, Perth.
Man, so how did you get to Record Store Day on Chapel Street at Union Heights from all the way from WA?
Man, blessed to be here. Thank you very much for having me as well. I reached out to Frank. And Frank just had said that he'd heard a little bit of my music, and I said, oh, look, I'd love to fly over if there's any opportunities ever. Happened to be Record Store Day, so very happy to be here.
The G&H guys were in before, and they were saying that like stuff like this, no disrespect to Perth, but it just doesn't sort of really happen.
No, exactly. So this was certainly a good opportunity for us to get out here.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be a part of something like that.
Come in. No, it's all right. Come in.
Come in. You're
Go through. You guys, it's your venue.
No, it's a huge opportunity for us. Exactly right. It's a big day. There's such a good culture out here, and yeah, we carry the same passion that Melbournians do. So we want to come out here and share it. So,
For sure, man. And after you've been here and you've seen it, is it what you expected?
Yeah, as in, yeah, positively. Yeah.
Nothing but love?
No, man, nothing but love. And that was, I felt, I knew that was what today was going to be like, for sure. Just real heads, people that enjoy the music, and a good crowd and a good lineup.
For sure, man. Yeah. And there's definitely some heavyweights of the Melbourne or Australian hip-hop scene in there. Is it cool to see them in the same room, potentially checking out your show?
Yeah, on the lineup?
Oh,
yeah.
no, but just in the crowd too, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I was, yeah, man, it's love. Yeah, it's just pretty special to be out here. So
for sure.
Yeah. But it's funny, like Cash I know from Perth, the G&H boys. So, you know, we've all sort of know each other, and we're just saying how surreal it is to all meet at this one point in a special day in Union Heights. So, yeah.
For sure, man.
Special.
How long are you in Melbourne for?
Now I'm out tomorrow morning, unfortunately.
Flying out?
Shoot back, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So go back for the full-time grind, get some coin, and then get back to rapping.
That's it, man. Yeah. You got any more projects coming up in the near future? The Ladder guys, we got these guys in as extras.
In the cut.
Yeah. It's so, yeah, La La Land. Yeah, shout out to La La Land for letting us do this today.
Yeah, shout out to La La Land. I love the decor in here, actually. Wonder if they would do a show.
Yeah, La La's a good spot. This is where Frank, when he's doing his Slap 618 thing, often DJs in here on a Friday night.
Dope.
Yeah, man, it's a good spot. Chapel Street's it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe.
Yeah,
have you been out to any venues since you've been in town just as a punter?
Have I been around in the city? Man, I've been coming back and forth for Melbourne for years, so I wouldn't say I know it well, but I wouldn't remember the venue names, but I've certainly been out here.
Is there a scene in Perth? Like the other guys were saying, again, no disrespect for Perth, but they're like a lot more seems to be happening here. Is there a scene there? Just small scale?
Oh, there's certainly a scene. It's just where you look. You know, G&H boys, we've got Fourth Move, which myself, A Saxon, SB11, working with a bunch of team over in the US as well as international. As well as SB being on Copenhagen Crates. I mean, that's an international look for sure. Mm-hmm. So, A Saxon just dropped track with Lord Juco today or yesterday. So yeah, we're out there cooking, man. And for me, that's the scene, is that it's love. Like, you know, G&H boys, like I go through them to get my merch done. You know. So
I've heard that he's got the hookup over there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man, I've got to ask, the name No is unusual. Where did you get that from?
Yeah, it is unusual. And I don't know what it stands for anymore, but it used to just be, it was No FM, actually, to start. And then I dropped the FM off. And the FM is Fourth Move. So Fourth Move is now our team back home, our family, with A Saxon and SB11, myself, and a couple of others, Hickey from Ireland. But now No is just... I don't know. It flows with every album. He's a ever growing piece of me. So,
I think they're subtly giving us to wrap it up by making some loud noise, and they want to open this venue. Do you want to let us know what else is coming up for No in 2024, man?
Oh, plenty. Dropped 3 albums last year, and I'm looking to drop probably 4 or 5 this year with the first 4
or 5 this year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and first album dropping in the next 4 weeks. So.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's prolific.
Locked and loaded. That's the goal.
Wow. And you're talking proper full, like 11, 12 track albums?
Look, this one's 10 at the moment.
Yeah.
I actually cull my albums. I usually do about 12 songs, and then I cull them down to the ones that I think are worthy, and that will go to a 7 or an 8. But that's just how I work.
Huge, man.
Yeah.
All right, No, we're getting to wrap it up, man. Thanks. Let's get back in next door, have a beer, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, man.
3,000.